This is Olivia Osgood, and you are listening to the How to Quit Working Show. I'm glad that my mommy's an entrepreneur so that we get to spend lots of time together and she gets to homeschool me.
This is the How to Quit Working Show. Jeff Steinman believes entrepreneurship is the only true path to freedom. That's why he created the How to Quit Working Show, where you'll hear stories, insights, and inspiration from lifestyle fanatics who left their soul-sucking 9-to-5 job forever. Now, here's your host, author, entrepreneur, and ultimate lifestyle fanatic, Jeff Steinman.
Hello, and welcome to the How to Quit Working Show. This is Heather Osgood, your host of the Friday episode of the How to Quit Working program. I am so thrilled that you're here with me today, and I have some really great things to talk to you about. But before we jump into that, I want to make sure that you've had an opportunity to join the How to Quit Working Circle. The How to Quit Working Circle will connect you with some terrific training resources. We've got some great videos that you can watch, and you also will have access to our How to Quit Working Facebook group. And if you would like to join the How to Quit Working Circle, you simply need to go to howtoquitworking.com/circle, and all the information will be there. And I just really encourage you to really plug in. There's really a great opportunity to find the resources that you need to get the motivation to really get you started on your journey. If maybe possibly you're currently a business owner, or if you're thinking about starting a business and you are ready to just be totally done with your job, you are ready to quit, that is the place to start. So please make sure to head on over to howtoquitworking.com/circle and join in all of the fun there. Now, today I have a great topic for us. I want to talk about our money stories. Now, in life, we all have stories. We have these really kind of inner voices that dictate how we deal with relationships. They dictate how we deal with conflict resolution. They dictate what we eat, what we wear, where we live, how we think, what our values are. And these can be, your inner critic. They might be a parent's voice that you're hearing. They might be, a book that you read at some point. But we all develop these stories around life and what it means to be uniquely us and to live and cope with the day-to-day, everyday kind of stuff. And money is a huge, huge story that we tell ourselves. We all have these stories around money, what money means to us, how we should get money, how we shouldn't get money, how much we should have, how little we should have. And all of those scenarios create issues within our lives. I have had so many clients this week who have talked to me about money that I decided that that is what the show needed to be about today, was all about this idea of money and how we are dealing with it. If you have never had a chance to really, really dive in to your own personal kind of psyche and really, really examine what your feelings are about money, today is the day. I am going to challenge you to spend some time with yourself, a pen and a paper, and really, really examine what your thoughts are surrounding money. Now, when you're thinking about really evaluating your feelings and your thoughts around money, first you really want to examine just kind of how you feel. So when someone brings up this idea of money, what comes up in you? Do you feel fearful? Do you feel excited? Do you feel overwhelmed? What exactly are all the particulars of your relationship to money? And then you want to ask yourself a series of different questions. You want to ask yourself, how do you feel about money? Does money make you good? Does money make you bad? Does having a lot of money make you good? Does having a lot of money make you bad? Obviously, on the flip side, does having little to no money make you good, or does it make you bad? Does it make you holy, or does it make you a hypocrite? Does money make you lovable, or does having money make you not lovable? And really just kind of dive down into what all of your thoughts and opinions are when it comes to money. And the reason that it's so important for us to examine these deep-rooted thoughts is because all of that inner emotion comes out in us when we're dealing with this process of the creation of money. Now, after you really kind of get down to the emotion of money and you kind of understand what your feelings are, I want you to challenge those feelings. And I want you to say, is that really, really true? Are my feelings about money, are they valid in some way? Are they grounded in some avenue? Or are they just totally bogus? Are they, thoughts that have been planted in me, again, from maybe my childhood, possibly my parents, possibly a friend growing up or a relative? Is it possible that maybe my circumstances created this idea of money for me? And I just want you to really, really be clear about how you feel about money and why you have those feelings. It's entirely possible that you have a very healthy relationship with money and your feelings around money are just fine. On the flip side, you might find as you're writing these feelings down that you realize that maybe this relationship that you have with money is kind of off. And where is it off and why is it off? Maybe why are your feelings around money not what they should be or not what they could be? Is it possible that you've really just never examined closely how you feel about money? And then after you examine how you feel about money, I want you to really think about how you handle money. So when you get money, what are you doing with it? I read a great book many years ago called Your Money or Your Life. And in that book, they said that you should add up all of the money that you had ever made in your life and then look at how much you had left. A great way of doing this is the Social Security Administration will send you out. Actually, I'm not sure if they do that anymore, but they used to always send out an annual statement that showed you how much you had paid into Social Security. It's entirely possible that that's something that you need to access online, but I'm sure that you could find access to that. And the great part about that is it'll show you, if you have been an employee, how much money you have made in the course of your employment. That's just a really great number. And when you sit down and when you add up all of the money that you've made in your life, then you want to look at how much of that money have you kept. And it is amazing how little most people actually keep. Most people get money in and it is quickly fleeting. It goes right through their fingers, in and out so quickly. And really examining, what are you doing for that exchange of money? The reason that you're listening to the show, in all likelihood, is, like I said, either you are a business owner or you're thinking about starting a business. And when we're diving into this idea of a business, most cases, the reason that we're starting a business is because we want to produce an income of some sort. We want to quit our jobs. We're not happy with this traditional model of us really exchanging our life energy, the number of hours we have here on this planet, for money. We want to create a better strategy for our lives where we can create a business, we can really live our passions, and then from that, we can create income. And so I just really want you to examine, what are your habits when it comes to money? Out of all of that money that you've made, how much have you kept? Are you in the habit of paying yourself first? And what I mean by that is when you get money in your life, whether it be in the form of a paycheck or a dividend or however it might enter your life, are you paying yourself before you're paying your bills? Do you always pay your bills first and then live on what's left? Or do you think about really paying yourself, saving a chunk of that money off the top? Are you thinking about giving a good portion of your money away, or is it something that you're really kind of wanting to hoard? And how are those responses to the way that you're dealing with money either allowing you to create more money or really hindering your ability to create money? After you look at your habits around money, next I really want you to think about, how are you creating income in your life? So are you looking at getting money from a job? Are you looking at getting money from a business? Maybe you have a family trust that you get money from. Maybe you have a parent who provides you with income. I must say, I am genuinely shocked by the number of friends that I have whose parents do support them in some way. And I think that it is entirely common in our society today to have an older parent really contributing to the financial success of their children, be that in the form of help with bills or, possibly even an allowance of sorts. I've talked to several people over the years whose parents do give them money on a regular basis. So really look at how all of this money is coming into your life, or how little money is coming into your life, and why is it entering your life? And how are you comfortable receiving money? Are you comfortable receiving money through a job? Are you comfortable receiving money through a business that you've created? Or are you comfortable receiving money as a gift? And then once you have that money in your life, how are you able to create more of that? Now, as I mentioned, I've had several clients this week who have really just had these money stories that they've needed to discuss, and I really wanted to share some of that with you. I had one client who is a very devout Christian, and she felt that the focus of money and really this idea of creating money was something that really would detract from her faith in God. And she had this concern that by really trying to create money in her life, that she was in some way really not following the path that God had laid out for her. So we really needed to examine that. We needed to say, is this something that is really serving you well? And is that really God's will for your life? Or is it just something that you have made up for yourself? Is it maybe something that society has impressed upon you? Is that really what the plan is for you? And, is that really what God is telling you through your prayer and your time in the Bible? I had another client who, this gentleman felt very comfortable making money at a job. He was, a very well-paid individual. He was working in an engineering field and was accustomed to making six figures. And when it came to making money at a job, he felt very comfortable with that. He knew that he had the education, he had the experience, and he really delivered a great service to his company. And so it was fine for him to make these numbers at his job, because in his mind, this company was paying him for the services that he was providing for the company, and it didn't feel overinflated to him. It didn't feel like he was asking for more than he was worth, because in that job he was able to find his worth. Now, when he went to start a business, he realized that as he was directly asking people for money, he really shifted his focus. And instead of his focus being on that service that he was providing, it was really focused on the money. And he really felt like that was a constant focus for him, and it made him really uncomfortable to try and generate money from a business. And we had to examine, why was that different? Why was that story different for him? That making money from a business was okay, but making money through making money through a job was okay, but making money through a business was not okay for him. And really understanding what his story was. What was that underlying motivation that was causing him to not feel as valued within a business that he had created, or feel as valued asking people to give him money as he was able to ask his job for money. And I find that is a very kind of pivotal thought process, and it's a huge distinction between an employee and a business owner. As an employee, you're very accustomed to someone just giving you money. And the reality is that you have a money conversation very, very infrequently. So when you're hired, obviously you have a money discussion. You talk about your compensation. Is it fair? Is it what you want? Is it what they want to pay you? And then once you have that money discussion, then it's off the table. You know that every month, every week, whenever it is that you get paid, that paycheck is going to come in, you're going to cash it, and in exchange for them giving you this paycheck, you're going to perform this service. You're going to do your job, and you're going to do what they ask you to do. Now, that conversation about compensation may come up in an annual review. For some of you who don't get annual reviews, it may not come up for several years. So you may work at a job and never have another money discussion again. Now, when you go to run a business, the tables totally turn. You have a money conversation nearly every single day. You're talking to your customers, you're talking to your vendors, you're looking at your bottom line, and the bottom line of the business has absolute total reflection on your own personal ability to actually make money. And if you're not comfortable with that entire process, you're going to create some real issues for yourself, because you have to feel like it's okay to value yourself at this level where you are taking money from people. Because in the end, where does money come from? Money always and only comes from people. That's where it comes from. Money doesn't come from government. Money doesn't come from, God. Money doesn't come from, the ocean. We as people create money, we hold money, and we exchange money. And if you realize that money is just an exchange between people, then you will realize that when you own a business, that money is really coming from a person. Now, depending on your beliefs, you may, believe that God is blessing you by giving you this money. You may believe that hard work is your credit for this money, but the base of where money comes from is from a person. And it's important that you really kind of grasp that idea that when you have a business, you are going to be asking someone to give you money. And that's going to be a regular conversation that you're going to need to have. I had another conversation with a client this week, and she had a lot of fear around money. She watched her parents really follow their passions in life, and unfortunately, their passions led them down a very poor financial path, and there was a lot of scarcity in her family. And she was able, when she grew up, to get a very good, stable job that provided a regular income for her, and that regular income really allowed her to have a sense of security and not have fear around money. But now she's in a position where she really wants to follow her passion in life. And her money story is telling her that when she follows her passion, that she's going to end up penniless, because that's what happened to her parents. She watched them do what they were passionate about and not be compensated for it. So now here she is really wanting to quit her job, and yet having this internal conflict of feeling like, well, maybe I shouldn't quit my job, because if I follow my passion, if I start a business, chances are it's probably going to turn out poorly, because it turned out poorly for my parents. So there's all of these different stories, and each of us has one. Whether your story is great and whether you're, just terrific with money, or whether you have fear around money, whether you have, concerns that you're not going to make enough, or that maybe you're not going to save enough, or you're not going to invest enough, or you're not going to have enough for retirement. We all have these little internal monologues that are constantly working in us. And as a business owner, we have this kind of responsibility to focus a certain amount of our energy around money. And it's important for you to realize that if you are going to quit your job and you are going to start a successful company, you have to have that ability to kind of embrace that everyday financial conversation. The exciting part about it is that you have this opportunity for change. When you're in a job and you're making the same amount of money day in, day out, month after month, year after year, there's really not that opportunity for change. Now, that change can be a downward turn or it can be an upward turn. It really just depends on the day. And it also depends on the energy that you have been putting into your business, the research you've been doing, whether you really are following your passion, whether you are really evaluating the market and you're sure that there's a product or a service out there that the market is interested in purchasing. And really, that is, that's kind of the crux of having a business. I listened to T. Harv Eker. He wrote Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, and I listened to a podcast that he was on recently, and he was really talking about how important it is to solve a problem. When you really just focus on money, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Money is what it is. Money is a tool, and it's important that we realize that money is just that. It's a tool, and it can help either elevate us and really take us to the level that we want it to take us to in our businesses and in our lives, or it can take us to really bad places. It can take us to places of scarcity or fear or worry that we're never going to have enough. And in our society, we really have this, overabundance of desires, of things, and we've really created this environment where what we have is defining who we are as people. And so all of that emotion and all of those opinions of ourselves and of other people, they all just come colliding, and they really do block our ability to look at our businesses objectively and really create the income that we need. And so I want you to really, really think about putting money in its place. Put money where it's supposed to be, and then really, really focus on the problem that you are solving. When you solve a problem for someone, they will give you money. Now, you have to really look at how big that problem is that you are solving. When you solve a really big problem for someone, they will give you more money. And when you solve a little problem for someone, they will give you less money. If you are tired in the afternoon and it's 3 o'clock and you're feeling like you really could just use a pick-me-up, and you head to a coffee shop and you get a cup of coffee, that coffee shop is solving a problem for you. You had a problem that you were tired, you needed a pick-me-up, you wanted a cup of coffee, and they were there to provide the solution. You took in your $2, $3, $4 and you exchanged that money for a cup of coffee. That coffee shop did a service, they provided a service, and they made money for that. Now, on the flip side, think about Mercedes-Benz dealers. You, as a person, have this problem where you need transportation. And not only do you need transportation, but you have a desire for luxurious transportation. You have a desire for something that's going to really be a safe vehicle that is going to provide you with the safety and the comfort and the features that you really need. That Mercedes-Benz dealer is solving a problem for you, but you're going to pay a lot more for that because it's solving a bigger problem for you in your life. So as a business owner or as a prospective business owner, I want you to really think about what problem are you solving for someone? And as you're solving that problem, how big is that problem? Is that problem going to really advance you to the level that you want to be at financially, or is it going to be just a little advance? And the reason I bring that up is because I talk to people all the time who, I would say on average, are making somewhere between the $60,000 and $100,000 a year, and they come up with these great ideas, but they don't realize that the problem that they're solving isn't a $60,000 or $100,000 a year solution, and they're never going to be able to replace the income of their job unless they come up with a solution that is equal to that value. So really examining just this role that money is playing in your life and examining this transition for you. You're going through a transition as you're starting a business. You're going through a transition, shifting from an employed person to a business owner. And then as a business owner, you're constantly in transition. You're going from this one level up to the next level. You're going from really just surviving to stability. And then you go from stability to success. And then once you go to the success level, you go to a successor level. where you're really able to create more of what you have. And your income is really going to raise you through those levels, and your ability to solve a problem is going to raise you through those levels. So I want you really just to examine where you're at with all of that. And today, in this moment, what is your money story creating for you in your life? Because that story is creating something for you. And either it's creating a positive experience, it's creating a negative experience, it's a story that is on point for you, or it's not a story that's on point for you. And I really challenge you to take some time to really process where you're at with money. And it's just not something that most people do. Most people really, really don't spend the time to think about their relationship with money. And that relationship is the difference between you having money and being successful in money and you not. It's also, really that relationship is either a cause for stress or it's a cause, for peace. And if you're a person who really believes that you're going to have what you need today and you're going to have what you need tomorrow, there's no need for you to stress. But I have found that you can more easily get into that place of abundance when you really are able to trust that the business you have created for yourself is going to be there and it's going to be successful. And the way to create a really, really strong business is to create a great foundation. And by creating a great foundation in a company, the likelihood that it is going to serve you well financially is huge. So I want you to really, really examine that and really think about how money is creating a story for you in life, and how can you change that story, or is your story good, and where is it going to lead you to eventually? Now, if you're thinking that maybe all of this is a lot and you're really just not sure where you should go with it, maybe you want to delve deeper into your money story, maybe you feel like you need to make some changes, or maybe you really, you feel like you're set and you've got your money story dialed in and you really just need to take that next step and start your business. Maybe you're a business owner and you really see that you have the opportunity to really take your company to the next level, and you really want to make those strides, but you're just not really sure, or maybe you just don't have that personal discipline and focus that you need. I really would just encourage you to reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. You are more than welcome to email me. And I just want to talk to you about where you're at in your journey. Are you thinking about making big changes? Are you wanting to make a shift? Or are you really happy with the progress you're making and you just need maybe some more tools to get you to the next level? Coaching is such a wonderful tool, and I've had so many wonderful conversations just this week, and I had a great session with my coach this week, and I want to encourage you to think about what it would be like to have a coach who is right there with you, walking your path, understanding what you're going through, giving you the encouragement you need, giving you the tools that you need, really empowering you to just be the best that you can be. And really for me, that is the most important part of life, is that, I was meant to be a person that was living at my best. And I believe that we're all meant to be living at our best. And if that is you right now, and you really have this desire to be living at your best, and maybe you don't feel like you're quite there, I want to really encourage you to just take the plunge, take the leap, and really think about what life could be like if you were living your best. And, is that what's really meant for you? I believe that this world deserves your best. And are you giving it your best? Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I'm so excited to share with you in the future. I'm excited to hear from all of you. And I just wish you the most success in your day and your week. And I will talk to you very soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us on the How to Quit Working show. Tune in next time when we'll talk to another amazing person just like you who is now living the ultimate life of freedom and doing it on their terms. If you want to learn how to quit working and get these episodes delivered directly to you, visit howtoquitworkingshow.com.